powerful, unique west swell that is hammering our coastline.
Severe winter weather hitting the West Coast tonight, right as millions of people are traveling for the holidays. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. A series of storms have triggered dangerously high surf, resulting in at least one death and wiping out part of a California pier. This was the scene today in Santa Cruz, where powerful waves caused a portion of the municipal wharf to collapse right into the ocean. 8 people had to be rescued here after falling into the water. And earlier in the day, authorities say a man was killed at a nearby beach after a large wave trapped him under debris. KTVU's Jesse Gary has more tonight on that dramatic wharf collapse and the ongoing threat along the coast.
The whole front just fell off. There's somebody on it.
3 teens fishing on the Santa Cruz wharf caught an eyeful around 12:30 Monday afternoon. The trio says large swells started shifting the supports of the century-old tourist icon, and then a 150-foot section collapsing into the angry Pacific Ocean.
We noticed that the pier was swaying a lot, and we heard a lot of cracking, but we didn't think much of it. And then all of a sudden, it literally all fell into the water, and there was people on it as well. A lot of construction workers, they were on the pier, and it fell into the water, and it sounded like thunder.
The boys ran for safety, then returned to see 3 men stranded on the partial platform as it slowly sank into the sea.
Pretty scary because we thought the pier was cracking under us when we were running. So we just thought we were in a movie, like running away from the cracks and stuff.
Santa Cruz city officials say 3 people, 1 a city project manager and 2 contract engineers, were checking that section of the wharf because it was undergoing a $4 million renovation. This due to damage sustained over the past 2 winters worth of storms.
Our staff and our contractors had no sense or indication that the wharf was going to give way. Again, they were out there doing inspections as part of our preparations to make sure that the wharf was safe.
All 3 men went into the water but were rescued. Jenny Marini, owner of Marini's Candies, captured the moment when one of the victims was rescued by a lifeguard riding a jet ski.
I'm on that wharf almost, weekly because our business is there, and it's just kind of, you don't expect anything like that to happen.
This was another example of how, despite our best predictions, talking with our weather experts, Mother Nature can surprise us.
Officials say the wharf is closed indefinitely due to the collapse. Additionally, late Monday afternoon, a public safety alert was issued, asking people to stay out of the water at all beaches.
We are anticipating that what is coming towards us is more serious than what was there this morning. This is going to be high tide at a time when we have king tides and all kinds of other activities out there in the Pacific Ocean.
The main beach here in Santa Cruz is closed, as is Cowell's Beach. Seabright also closing its beaches, and Capitola bracing for possible flooding Monday evening. In Santa Cruz, Jesse Gary, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
And along with the high surf, the National Weather Service says a rapidly developing storm is going to bring hurricane-force winds to some parts of the Pacific Northwest. Authorities say there could be downed trees and power outages, but the winds won't be nearly as strong as last month's bomb cyclone that caused widespread damage across that region. Now, here's a live look tonight at the Seattle skyline with the Space Needle right there, but you can see the camera kind of bumping around just a little bit, so obviously they're already getting some of those gusts. Forecasters are also saying in the Pacific Northwest, you could potentially be seeing waves up to 30 feet just off the coast later on tonight. Well, the severe weather all along the West Coast comes as millions of Americans are traveling for the holidays. San Francisco International Airport spokesman Doug Yakel told us he expects to see fewer people traveling on Christmas Eve with more wet weather headed our way.
We'll probably see those numbers taper off just a little bit tomorrow. Real busy tomorrow morning from about 6 a.m. to noon. But then as we get into the afternoon hours, we'll start to see a tapering off a little bit, and then it'll get quiet as we go into the holiday.
Overall, travel at SFO is at 98% of pre-pandemic levels. So the best advice is to be sure to allow a little extra time to get through security and get to your gate on time for that flight. Here is a live look tonight at San Francisco International, and according to FlightAware, SFO has seen 200 delays and 1 cancellation today, but we did hear from airport officials that they are in sort of a recovery mode right now. After all of those delays, obviously the West Coast not the only place with severe weather. For more, we're joined by KTVU meteorologist Rosemary Orozco, tracking the conditions all across the West Coast. Hey, Rosemary.
Hi, Alex. Yeah, so the worst of it, at least for California, looking to come in early tomorrow morning. A little bit of a lull today. San Francisco, 54 degrees, just a few sprinkles, a little bit of drizzle. But again, we are already watching the next system move ashore areas of the Pacific Northwest from Washington, Oregon, and into Northern California, with multiple advisories expected, including the advisory for high surf. We've got advisories and warnings stretching the entire west coastline. This is impacting millions of people as areas from Washington all the way to Southern California with these advisories for large breaking waves. For the San Francisco area, it will go until tomorrow afternoon, in addition to low-lying coastal flooding during high tides, which is actually a high tide going on right now. The advisory also expands over towards the Hawaiian Islands. Aside from the high surf, we've got the wind advisories that Alex talked about. You can see that shade of periwinkle or purple. It includes areas of the Pacific Northwest, areas over Nevada and into Southern California as well. And for snow, there is a winter storm warning for the Sierra from areas like Lake Tahoe stretching all the way over towards Yosemite, and this is expected to begin tomorrow morning. West Coast forecast for you here as we move into the next 24 hours or so. That system is going to push through, leaving dry weather in time for the holiday. So for folks that have to travel ahead of the holiday, this is where it is going to be messy for tomorrow, but it does push through, and by tomorrow night, it is only areas of the Intermountain West. As we get into Wednesday, Christmas Day, as well as Hanukkah, we are mainly dry. For the Pacific Northwest, though, it doesn't last. Look what begins to happen early on Wednesday. For the rest of California and the Desert Southwest, we do expect dry conditions through at least Wednesday night before the system begins to impact Northern California once again, and then stretching over towards Idaho as well. And then it looks like soggy weather on and off for the rest of the week into the weekend. As far as rainfall amounts, could get up to 2 inches over Northern California. San Francisco picking up 4/10 with this next system. But in areas over the Desert Southwest, it remains dry for most. In fact, Phoenix this afternoon, a mild one to warm, upper 70s there, with no wet weather in the forecast for Phoenix over the next few days. We're looking at temperatures remaining in the 70s. Few upper 60s as we head in towards a Christmas Day. Meanwhile, San Francisco, mostly cloudy, dry for Christmas and Hanukkah. Will be in and out of the wet weather over Seattle. Alex?
Rosemary, thank you. In Arizona, a late-season wildfire has now grown to almost 900 acres. It's burning in the Tonto National Forest, and there are still no signs of any containment for crews on the ground. Several small communities are preparing to evacuate because of the fire. Crews say this is burning in steep, rugged terrain, and that's making it difficult to access. The fire's been burning since December 14th, and authorities believe it is human-caused and being made worse by the warm and dry weather in Arizona.
Overall, trending nationally, our fire seasons are longer. I think we've all seen that. The dryness right now, the lack of rain and the windy conditions certainly led to, this human-caused fire quickly getting to a size and a location, on the Mogollon Rim where it's extremely difficult to safely suppress.
Fire crews are hopeful, though, that a weather shift into some cooler conditions coming in the next few days is going to help with that firefight. One of the world's most active volcanoes is alive again tonight. Kilauea began erupting on Hawaii's Big Island early this morning. The eruption was confined to the volcano's summit in a remote, closed-off area of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. So far, the most immediate threat is volcanic smog that could reach some homes that are downwind, potentially causing health problems for those with respiratory issues. Kilauea most recently erupted earlier this year in June and then again in September. Several people were rushed to the hospital today after a chairlift accident at a Lake Tahoe ski resort. This happened at Heavenly Mountain Resort right along the California-Nevada border. The Tahoe Douglas Fire Department says 5 people were taken to a hospital in Reno. Their conditions have not been released. There are reports 2 chairlifts collided with each other. A spokesperson for the Heavenly Resort released a statement that reads, "The safety of our guests is our top priority, and the resort is investigating what happened." In Colorado, more than 150 people were stranded this weekend after a ski lift cracked at a resort there. Fox's Cassia Carriage shows us how visitors on the mountain were rescued.
It was a scary situation for some, sitting still several feet high in the sky, but Winter Park says the gondola did exactly what it was supposed to and stopped.
It's our main destination. We usually go Copper maybe once or twice a basin, and mostly Winter Park like a dozen times per year.
It was a late start on Alexi's first ride up the mountain for the day.
Stopped for about 15 minutes and we started kind of thinking, well, maybe it's unusual.
Around noon on Saturday, the gondola at Winter Park had a mechanical issue and stopped. Rescue efforts to get the 174 people down safely began shortly after.
It took him a while because we saw he started climbing, he started rappelling down, getting all the gear ready. Maybe a couple hours since we got stuck.
A couple of hours of waiting with his wife, a ski instructor, and a child about 30 to 50 feet in the air.
Okay, we've been rescued from a gondola.
So Alexi pulls out his phone and posts to social media, now getting hundreds of thousands of views.
Came to the cabin.
Everyone's feeling good?
Yeah. Took a while to get in, open the doors. He was pretty professional, super safe, very calm. And then it took us about half an hour to get down.
You're good.
Taking ski patrol about 5 hours to make their rounds.
The best is we got safe. We got down safely, and that's the most important part.
Crews now working to fix the gondola on Sunday. That didn't stop Alexi from finishing his day.
We skied a couple of rounds after that. We used a different lift, of course. It was still okay day, but once-a-lifetime experience.
Now, it's not clear just yet when this gondola may reopen here at Winter Park, but we'll be updating our website at ktvr.com once it does. Reporting in Winter Park, Kasha Carriage, Fox 31.
In Arizona, a man's body was recovered from a frozen lake today after authorities say he fell through the ice. The Coconino County Sheriff's Office says the 26-year-old fell into Woods Canyon Lake yesterday. Authorities say he was one of 3 people who walked out onto the ice. The other 2 people were able to make it back to safety. The victim's identity has not been released, but we're told he was a student at Arizona State University. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, President Biden commutes sentences for dozens of inmates on death row, including a pair of people convicted in California. Plus,
the main thing that we need is protection and obviously safety.
Bus drivers in Seattle demanding more protections after one of their co-workers was brazenly attacked and killed while on duty. Also coming up tonight, what started as a strike in only a few cities has now spread from coast to coast. The latest on efforts by Starbucks employees to secure additional benefits from the Seattle-based coffee giant. In Seattle, a man has been arrested for the deadly stabbing of a city bus driver. That attack happened last week when police say Richard Sitzlak stabbed Sean Yim during a fight. Police say they have arrested Sitzlak. They did so on Saturday while he was sleeping on a bus. Here's video of that arrest happening. As Fox 13's Dave Detling shows us tonight, many fellow bus drivers say this attack needs to serve as a wake-up call to improve safety on the city's transit system.
Brother Sean Yim.
Brother Sean Yim.
We respect you.
We respect you.
We love you.
We love you.
At this bus stop in the University District, candles were lit for a King County Metro bus operator killed while at work Wednesday morning. Saturday's vigil came on the heels of the arrest of Yim's accused killer, found sleeping on a Metro bus earlier in the day.
Turn around for me. Walk backward slowly towards me. Put your hands behind your back.
The arrest bringing some relief, but those at the vigil saying there's still pain.
His family. I mean, that's what I keep thinking about is his family, right? He's gone, but his family is left to pick up the pieces. There's going to be an empty seat. this Christmas.
Bus operators, supervisors, and even union leaders showing up at the vigil in solidarity to remember Yim, while also pushing for safety changes.
It's very dangerous out here for us, and the main thing that we need is protection and obviously safety.
Union leaders who knew Yim say he was concerned about that very topic.
He come up to me and talked about how bad it is out there driving the bus. It's changed, Ken. It's not the same as when you drove.
Following the fatal stabbing, union workers are calling for immediate change, including increased police presence.
It's bigger than Seattle and Metro. We got to work all together on that. And we need to get a safer driver compartment. We need to get some more training. We need to get more Metro Transit police.
Their demands, this group knows, will take time. What they don't want is for Sean Yim's death to be in vain.
We're all the same. And what's your hope moving forward? My hopes moving forward is that better safety for bus operators.
And that was Fox 13's Dave Detling reporting tonight. Yim's family was not in attendance at this weekend's vigil as they are asking for privacy during this difficult time. Yim's death comes as the local union is undergoing contract negotiations. Death penalty opponents and victims' relatives all reacting tonight to President Biden's decision to commute death row sentences. The president today converted the sentences of 37 out of 40 federal death row inmates to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. 2 of those inmates were sentenced in California. Some victims' families are angry, saying the move undermines the federal justice system. The decision is meant to stop President-elect Trump from restarting stalled executions. 13 were carried out during his first term in office, ending a 17-year pause on capital punishment. In a statement, President Biden said, "In good conscience, I cannot stand back and let a new administration resume executions that I halted."
Didn't give commutations on the death penalty to the 3 death penalty or death row inmates who were dealt with by the Biden Justice Department and the Obama Biden Justice Department.
The 3 men who will remain on federal death row are Robert Bowers, who killed 11 people at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Dylan Roof, the white supremacist who killed 9 black parishioners at a Charleston, South Carolina church, and Johar Tsarnaev, one of the 2 Boston Marathon bombers. A strike by Starbucks workers has now expanded to 9 different states. Starbucks Employees United says members in New York, New Jersey, and Missouri joined the strike on Sunday. Locations in Colorado, Ohio, and Pennsylvania began a strike on Saturday. And this all comes after initial walkouts that happened in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Seattle last Friday. The union says Starbucks has failed to meet its demands for immediate and future pay raises. They're calling for an immediate increase in the minimum wage of hourly partners by 64% and by 77% over the life of a 3-year contract. A union representative says the strike could reach hundreds of stores by tomorrow.
We're not out here just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for baristas nationwide, and we're fighting for low-paid work to no longer be considered low-paid work. We want to be able to live and be in the cities that we work in.
Starbucks says it's focused on making the employee experience better while offering a competitive average pay of $18 per hour with benefits. The company also says there hasn't been a significant impact to store operations since the start of that strike.
Love to see a statue out in front of here or City Hall.
Remembering the late, great Ricky Henderson, who died last Friday, how the city he called home for so many years may honor him. Also, Los Angeles Dodgers slugger Shohei Ohtani had a successful first season with the Boys in Blue, the award he picked up today, recognizing his play. Tonight, tributes continue to come in for Hall of Fame baseball player Ricky Henderson, who died on Friday at the age of 65. During his 25 years in the majors, he played for 9 different teams, but Henderson spent most of his career with the Oakland A's in the city where he grew up. KTVU's James Torres has more tonight on the effort underway in Oakland to permanently honor his legacy.
Don Pieper puts down a red flower on a wall dedicated to the late legend Ricky Henderson.
I wanted to pay tribute to him as a human being who lost his life way too young.
Her favorite memory, Henderson showing kindness to both her and her son at a meet and greet.
We got up to the front of the line. He got Ricky's autograph. Ricky saw me with my camera and he said, "Come over here, son, let's get a photo for mom." So he gave us both. That's the kind of man he was.
The Man of Steel, known for being the best at stealing bases, also stole the hearts of people in Oakland who are already heartbroken about losing the A's to Sacramento and Las Vegas.
You know, you almost can't believe it's true. You almost can't believe your team left, and you almost can't believe that the greatest person to ever play on that team also left. You know, way too young.
He meant a lot to my team, and I look up to that, and it's a sad thing, you know, seeing the A's leave and now someone who meant so much to that franchise also leave.
Fans talk to one another, sharing memories and memorabilia.
Well, this jersey is 40 years old, man. Look at it.
It's a clean jersey for
40 years old, you know, and I wear it every once in a while because I want to keep it clean.
It's why they expect Oakland City Council members to do something to honor Henderson's memory permanently. Councilman Dan Cobb expects that to happen soon.
I think there's no doubt that we should name, if not, you know, one or two things after Ricky Henderson. You know, someone needs to, you know, put together a small working group of people to figure out what are those best things.
I'd love to see a statue out in front of here or City Hall.
Name a street at least, you know, Ricky Henderson's Boulevard.
I know there was a lot of talk about what to call the Oakland International Airport. Oakland, you know, RH Airport, you know.
Fans here tell me they are so shocked by this death, not just because death is so naturally unpredictable, but because they just saw Ricky Henderson here about 2 months ago playing in charity softball games, throwing out the first pitch for the Oakland A's last home game here at the Coliseum. He died at 65 years old. His 66th birthday would have been this coming Christmas. At the Oakland Coliseum, I'm James Torres, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani has been named the Associated Press's Male Athlete of the Year. Ohtani won his third Most Valuable Player award this season after leading his new team to their 8th World Series championship. He also created Major League Baseball's 50-50 club after hitting 54 home runs and stealing 59 bases this past season. This is the third time the designated hitter and pitcher has been named the AP Male Athlete of the Year after previously winning it in 2023 and 2021 when he was with the Angels. Las Vegas is back to normal tonight following last month's Las Vegas Grand Prix. The 3.8-mile street circuit ran along the Strip and disrupted traffic for many people for 16 weeks. Crews reopened the sidewalk in front of the Bellagio Resort for the first time since mid-September, and the controversial temporary Flamingo Road Bridge was fully removed over this past weekend. Finally tonight, Oregon is getting ready for Winter Whale Watch Week, starting right after Christmas. Wildlife officials have determined the best spots for getting a glimpse of gray whales migrating to Baja California. Trained volunteers will be stationed at about a dozen coastal parks starting on December 26th to answer people's questions and help visitors spot those whales. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says the North Pacific is home to more than 14,000 gray whales. That sounds like a fun thing to do here on this holiday week. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. A quick reminder before we go, you can stay up to date on all the big stories we're covering across the West at our website. It's westcoastwrap.com. And stream our shows with the free Fox Local app. We'll leave you here with a beauty shot of Space Needle in Seattle. Have a great night.